voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing together and will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it'll turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is really exciting. Thank everybody for coming, and also a bunch of you on Zoom. And we're all here today, Laurel, for you, because we're here to honor and celebrate and thank you for, okay, if anybody needs to open the door, Anne, you're going to be in charge of that door, for bringing the joyful gift of communal song into our lives in a bigger way than we ever could have imagined. You know, you can just look at your legacy right here and you'll be seeing a lot of it. And why is this happening? It's because, Laurel, your voice carries God on its notes, as your heart carries God in your holy being. Over these 30 years, we've traveled with you on both an inner journey and an outer journey. For the outer journey, we showed up with open hearts and open voices to churches of many different denominations and different groups, to nursing homes near and far, even to bookstores, remember that? And of course, to Congregation Bethel for many, many Simchas, celebrations, and of course, the high holidays. And we were also, by you, you brought in people to nurture us, like Linda Hirschhorn, like Beged Kefet, like the Zamir Chorale, and many, many others. But mostly our essence that we talked about recently, that joyful, prayerful sound we brought to the world was molded by the more important inner journey. We discovered that in your presence, because you lived and brought this exuberant and beautiful atmosphere to us through your actions. Whether we were professionals, singers, or could barely or fairly hold a tune, and we all know who we're talking about here, right? Whether we could immediately sight read each note or had to listen and learn by ear over many, many trials, you accepted all of us. There was never a mean bone anywhere in any of those rehearsals. You brought your smile, your amazing energy, your creativity, compassion, and light into each and every rehearsal. and you encouraged us to be our very best selves by shepherding us through your kind and compassionate ways. And you guided us to create a communal voice more powerful than the sum of its parts, and one that emanated not only from our capabilities, but from a spiritual place within, creating a deep new sound. So now, are you ready to travel down memory lane and have lots of fun hearing from good wishes and toasts from many people, as well as some fun memories? This is our afternoon for you, Laurel. Thank you.
When Jane asked me to create a compendium of songs that ShirEl has sung over the years, I could tell by the weight of my accordion folder and countless binders that I was in for an interesting stroll down memory lane. 9 pages later, here are some fun facts I discovered. Our repertoire spans over 250 songs, including 6 versions of Shalom Aleichem, 4 different renditions of Hallelujah and Oseh Shalom, 3 separate compositions of Matovu, Sim Shalom, Yiyu Loratzon. We've sung in 6 different languages, English and Hebrew, of course, but also Yiddish, Ladino, Arabic, and Swahili. We've sung psalms, classic synagogue choral pieces by Louis Lewandowski, folk songs by Bob Dylan and Pete Seeger, and contemporary Jewish music by Debbie Friedman, Nick Page, Jeff Klepper, and Charles Osborne. We've even performed pieces by our own Beth Ellers, current and former, Joan Makepeace, Jim Ball, Pam MacArthur, Steve Chalmers, and Benji Schiller. And who could forget, as Jane mentioned, the special weekend workshops with Linda Hirshhorn. Why are the men here? You know, and Eleanor Epstein, Norma Brooks, and Ramon Tassat, who were singing gospel with the Baptist choir to help raise funds for a local food kitchen. And through it all, with grace and humor, yeah, lots of humor, Laurel, you have led our merry band of singers to create amazing music that has touched the heart of our community. And thank you for all the years you've devoted to bringing out the best in us. And it's 6 more minutes to go.
That was fantastic, Debbie. To Laurel, in gratitude for her patience and enthusiasm each year as we prepared our best for the high holidays. I always enjoyed participating in ShirEl, including the fun, humor, and satisfaction of rehearsals and the excitement and pleasure of giving such beauty to our community on Erev Rosh Hashanah. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
short but sweet. But so the other thing that we did, which was a lot of fun, actually, Carol and I had a lot of fun, and then Martin had to work with things that we chose, is that we went into the archives and we tried to put together a montage, thanks to Beth, who helped us to get all of these things put together. And so we're going to see these montages in little chunks. Most of them are not the whole song, they're just clips, except the first one is mostly the song. So please enjoy Prayers and Whimsy is our first group.
Okay? Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Okay. Hi. My name is Judy Kesberg, and we were Bethel members for 18 years. Hello. I was really privileged to have been a member of ShirEl, and music has always been intrinsic to my connection to Judaism, and singing and learning with Laurel was quite a special experience, that's for sure. I've been asked to talk briefly about Linda Hirschhorn. She's a cantor. For people who don't know who she is, she's a cantor and a very prolific composer of Jewish music. I wasn't terribly familiar with much of Linda's work, just a few pieces, until Laurel invited her to Bethel for an artist in residence weekend. But it was, no, it was great. Through a series of workshops, learning sessions, we really had the opportunity to gain such a deep understanding of her music and immerse ourselves in her expansive repertoire. We learned a wide variety of pieces very quickly, which I found to be rather challenging, especially since I am a soprano and clearly Linda is an alto, and her music is clearly not written in the sweet spot of my vocal range, but it was a lot of fun. So many of her pieces are meant to be sung as rounds and often have unexpected harmonies, which I always love. If it's too easy, it's boring. It shouldn't be too easy. It should be unexpected and interesting, I think. So I do remember feeling more like we were making new connections, singing to each other as just opposed to singing with each other. We really sang together and connecting in a different way to the music. So it left me with a stronger sense of community and belonging. And I found it very powerful to have Linda herself lead us through her music. So thank you, Laurel. And singing and learning with you has truly been such a pleasure, and I wish you the best of luck. And that is all. Thank you.
Hi, Laurel. So you have such a wonderful way of making connections with people, and you often make connections between ShirEl and the greater community. One that I especially remember was an event called the second annual Singing in Solidarity with Our Immigrant Neighbors. And that was at the Greater Framingham Community Church. And we sang along with other religious groups, soloists. I think Belle had a solo. And I remember singing Sia Hamba. We are walking in the light of God. And I think we were even singing it as we were walking back to our seats, which was appropriate, but always a challenge. So, but one of the most memorable parts of that experience was hearing the stories of the immigrants from themselves, hearing their own stories. And it was very powerful to be part of this larger religious community and spiritual groups. And it felt important to lend our voices in solidarity with the immigrants. And it also led me to Tzedakah because I made a contribution to the fund after the program. So thank you for making these connections and for lifting up all of our voices.
So, a few words first. So back in the 1990s, way back then, remember that? ShirEl we used to do more gigs outside the temple. So especially in nursing homes, I remember going there once at New Horizons in Marlboro, but the big one in my memory is when we did Hebrew Rehab in Boston. And the residents there really enjoyed when we came. Maybe it was the highlight of their week or something. And anyway, but they were very attentive. And the one song that I remember the most that they joined in on was this Yiddish folk song, Tumbalalaika. And they're all singing, you know, from the old country, and they remember probably their parents and their grandparents, and they sang along, and they loved it. So I was trying to come up with a song to do. And when I told Jane this anecdote, she said, well, why don't you do Tumbalalaika? I said, good idea, Jane. So we're going to do it now. And Janet has a few words about the song itself, plus any other memories you might want to share.
No, I just wonder how, I remember how wonderful it was, everybody joining in on the chorus. So that's your cue when it comes around. So we're going to do the Yiddish, which was always so much fun. And so, you know, it's a riddle song. A young boy sits up all night trying to figure out which maidel to choose. And so he poses a riddle and he says, what can grow without rain? And what can burn and never go out? And what can yearn and cry without tears? And of course, the maidel steps up and she says, you foolish boy, what are you asking? A stone can grow without rain. A heart can burn and never go out. Love can burn and never go out. And a heart can yearn and still cry without tears. So my guess is he picked her.
Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Spielbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Pray Gott soll sein.
Steht der Bucher ohne Tracht, Tracht und Tracht, a ganze Nacht. Wemmen zu nehmen und nicht verschämen, wemmen zu nehmen und nicht verschämen.
Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, Spielbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Pray Gott soll sein.
Mädel, Mädel, ich will bei dir fragen, wo's kann wachsen, wachsen ohne Regen, wo's kann brennen und nicht aufhören, wo's kann bränken, weinen und tränen.
Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Spielbala, laika. Tumbala, laika. Pray Gott soll sein.
Narische Buche, was darf zu fragen? A Stein kann wachsen, wachsen ohne Regen. Lieber kann brennen und nicht aufhören. A Herz kann bänken, weinen und tränen.
Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, 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 laika. Tumbala, laika. Spielbala, laika. Tumbala, laika.
This is amazing. Like we're in person. My dear Laurel, it's hard to explain in words the Laurel effect. Something happens in my body, mind, and heart that is ineffable. My voice joined with yours in song. I am transported. In your presence, I get this feeling that perhaps the divine exists. Your smile, your eyes, your hands, your voice all express your deep connection to Judaism. And singing with all of you in ShirEl has been a real gift. Even when I didn't quite get that note, you made me feel like my singing was good enough. You've inspired me as my teacher of liturgy and mindfulness with new insights, and no doubt I'm a more engaged Jew and a more passionate woman because of your presence in my life. And I trust that the midot and the melodies that you've taught are deeply embedded in my heart, and I'll call on them for years to come. You've offered your open heart and held space for me in times of need, and forever I will be grateful. It's part of the Laurel effect. It's ineffable.
So this is somewhat impromptu because I'm going to discuss the Laurel effect part 2. Although I have been involved with Bethel's since we moved to Sudbury, I did not really embrace everything Bethel had to provide to me until after I retired. And I think you've all heard about that, so I'm not going to go into much detail. But because of you and your influence on me, when I embraced my Judaism, I realized that long ago and far away when I was in high school, I loved to sing. And I was in the chorus and I did madrigals, and that even followed into college. But somehow all that faded away. So I squared my shoulders and I said, the Laurel effect will support me if I go with these phenomenal singers who have known each other forever. And if I sing quietly and really stand next to somebody who knows what they're doing, I will, if I don't sing too loudly, I will in fact become part of the chorus. So thank you, Laurel, for embracing me and knowing full well that you really wanted me to sing softly. And Hillary Clinton was once interviewed, and she was said that her one thing that she did not do well, she was told by her chorus teacher to sing quietly. She went on to do great things, as we all know, but that's my connection with Hillary Clinton. And to you, I give you a warm embrace now that I can see you, and thank you for taking me in.
Oh, ye the trumpet in Zion.
Sound the alarm from the holy mountain. Tell all the people in the land. Tremble, for the day of the Lord is at hand. Tell all the people in the land. Tremble, for the day of the Lord is at hand.
ותקבל ברחמים, ברחמים וברצון.
notenu, zeg hezi from notenu, a reshet simpatenu, ye erot lili panecha, eram b'misa, mevinu ma'azin, ma'abitu makshi, lekol tikiyatenu.
Laurel, you're always giving to the congregation, and I wrote using words that you're familiar with, that you would always sing, and I wrote a toast to you. May you live to see a world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. Trust in generations past and yet to be. May your heart be filled with intuition. May your words be filled with insight. Songs of praise upon your tongue. Vision straight before you. May your eyes shine with the light of holy words. Your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips speak of wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness. As you go forever yearning to hear the holy ancient one of old. Thank you for everything, Laurel.
Lovely, lovey Laurel. I came to this congregation about 23 years ago. And it was a couple more years before I became a Jew. But I would come every Friday night. And long before I knew the liturgy, long before I knew the Hebrew, I would yai-da-die along, and you must have heard me harmonizing. It's because I can't sing as high as you do, dear. So you asked me to come to ShirEl, and I started coming. And it was not long before you made me one of the men. And there would be three of us trans, sort of trans singers, me and Debbie Young and Pat O'Malley. And now Maxine too. But back then it was just the three of us. And you, I don't know how you found out that I write some music sometimes. I'm not very prolific, but occasionally I crank out a piece. And for people who write music, there's a frustration
because chances are you're never going to get to hear it. And Laurel always brought my pieces to ShirEl. And sometimes she would make a request for something even. And it gave me a chance to hear my music. What you may not know is that the years before I came to Bethel, I was quite sick. And music had disappeared from my life. And you brought it back. So thank you. I love you, dear.
So we wanted to share a story with you about Laurel and how we got together to play music. And really it starts back almost 20 years ago when our kids were bar and bat mitzvah age.
At the Snowy Owl.
The Snowy Owl in New Hampshire. And we were on a retreat together, and our families got to know each other well. Of course, our kids are grown now, but we've stayed in touch. Fast forward in about 20 years, our kids are grown, and I'm like really anxious to start playing music again. It's been a long time, so I decided an easy thing to do would be to join ShirEl, and I'm loving it. I've always wanted to sing, with Laurel, and we sing this beautiful song called "I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free" by Dr. Billy Taylor, and sung by Nina Simone frequently. Gorgeous song. So I really enjoyed that experience, and then I decided I really want to play an instrument again, so I pick up the electric bass. And then I find some colleagues at work who also play instruments and sing, and we end up forming a 5-piece band with a couple guitars and a singer and a keyboard and bass. But we were missing something. So I'll let Art tell the story from here.
So I was helping to park cars at Bethel on the high holidays. I think it was Yom Kippur. It was during the middle of the day and there were no cars to park. And Craig was also on duty. So we were just chatting and he mentioned the band. And I mentioned that I had been practicing my drums. To which Craig said, "We need a drummer." And I said, "You're kidding." So one thing led to another, and they let me audition.
Yeah, we had him audition, which was like, he's a drummer, he's in.
So it's like honorary epidemiological photographer.
Right, so most of the band members are epidemiologists like me, but so anyway, it all comes together because Laurel, right? Because I started singing again, then I started playing music again, then I found out that Art was trying to get into a band, and we all got together. So to celebrate, Laurel, all the wonderful gifts that you have given to everyone, including us, we want to share our band's rendition of "I Wish It Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free."
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart. Remove all the bars that still keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things I can do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I found I could fly. I'd soar to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
I'll be super quick because it was just supposed to be filler anyway. I'd been coming to Bethel off and on for years, mostly showing up at Shabbat Rina before we were members because I love Shabbat Rina and we schlep. I'm sure Watertown isn't the farthest that people drive, but it's far. Yeah, but the first thing after we joined and the first time I heard the ShirEl singers, I said, I want what they are having. And that was the first thing I did as a member was join Laurel's ShirEl Singers. So thank you so much.
Laurel, I'm going to speak the language of my heart because I think that I can say for real, without exaggeration, that if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be me. I would not be the person that I am. Almost from the moment you set foot on planet Bethel, I asked you to teach me everything. I showed up and I said, teach me Friday night services, and you did. And then I showed up and I said, teach me how to lead high holidays because I just took a gig and I don't know how to do it. And so for 9 gestational months, you made me tapes. You opened your heart, you opened your soul, and you opened your books, and you shared it all with me. And through those years, I learned everything. I learned the nitty-gritty and the concrete stuff. But more important, I learned from how you were, how to be. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to this moment, this opportunity to thank you for what you've been for me. My teacher, my mentor, but most of all, my friend. I love you.
When we go to visit our granddaughter, she greets us at the door, grabs our hand and says, "Come, come, it'll be fun," as she drags us off to a room full of Legos. That's exactly how it felt when Laurel invited us to sing with the Baptist choir. "Come, come," she encouraged, "it'll be fun." I have to confess, when I walked into that room and saw all of those singers, I was intimidated. And I therefore was quite content to hide myself in the back among all those huge tenors. But, you know, the goal was admirable: create a community concert that would raise funds for a needy food kitchen. So who was I to resist Laurel's invitation? I have to say, it was quite an experience. The choir welcomed us with open arms. The gospels we sang together were joyous and energetic. But where was the sheet music? Forget about it. We just had to trust the conductor, who danced and sang and led us into swaying and clapping while we echoed back verse after verse. Well, they swayed and they clapped, and I hid behind the tenors. It was pretty uplifting, I have to say, a spiritual high, if you will. And like Laurel had promised, it was definitely fun.
Somewhere far off, there's a small, quiet place with a wooden gazebo, and by its side, an almond tree. If somewhere far off, even hundreds of miles away, there's a grandmother singing her granddaughter a lullaby, then I will fly there one of these evenings, and together we'll count the stars.
They are באורך נראה באורך נראה אור נראה אור In your light do we see light In your light do we see light
Yes, Laurel, in your light, we see light. We see joy. We see music. We see beauty. Thank you for your smiles, for your tears. Thank you for welcoming us into your life, into your light. I call on the spirit of Miriam, the prophetess Miriam, with her song, Miriam with her dance, Miriam with her joy. I bless you as you have blessed us all these years. And I give you all my love, my joy, my smiles, and my thanks for welcoming me into your life and welcoming me back into music and song. Zot kos Miriam, kos mayim chayim, chazak chazak v'nit chazek. This is the cup of Miriam, the cup of living waters, strength, strength, and may you go from strength to strength in everything that you bring into your life, that you have brought into our life. May the Miriam's well be with you always, to strengthen you and nourish you wherever you may go.
Little story. Someone told me that I would never carry a tune. I believed it. Why even try? After all, my mother sang to Frank Sinatra on the radio on one note. Sometimes, sorry, Laurel, I see you laughing. On one note, truly. 20 some years later, I bought a greeting card with a Chinese proverb on its cover. A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. On the inside, it said, go for it. So I did. Thank you, Laurel, for welcoming me and my timid voice to ShirEl, and for the years you helped me find and sing my song. Thank you. With love.
This is the sound of one voice.
So we are thrilled to have put together a photo album showcasing joyous singing together from our time with you. There should be. Oh, okay, good. Warming up as congregants start filling the aisles. Oh, is that picture up yet? It's okay. Sure, yeah. Yes. You know, we've had a year and a half to get used to this, right? So. Hello? Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness.
Quick comic filler.
Oh.
Debbie did a great job. Debbie did a great job of describing everything that we've sung over the years. For the sheer volume of it, I brought this.
Okay, good. So we really are thrilled to have put together a photo album for you. And we are, next slide, please. Anyway, many of us were able to provide pictures and wishes for you. And so you'll be able to look at us as often as you wish. Or not, right? So, well, the next picture it was going to show. Oh, sorry. Warming up as congregants started filling the aisles, entering our spots with anticipatory smiles, wearing our jewel tone tops, singing in smaller groups, stepping forward for special sectionals, holding the beat with any number of aids. All the product of several weeks of practice together, somehow always bringing a miraculous result from an often tenuous beginning. The next picture is of you. There we are. Always setting the tone, so to speak, whether leading us in song or singing together with us, leading with your heart and soul. And many of us were able to send in photos of ourselves with memories of you and wishes for your future. We hope that this album will bring you continued joy as you remember our sweet times together. And as always is the case, Shutterfly will deliver in its own sweet time, but I will deliver to you as soon as it comes. So, yeah.
I can just look at all of you and look at all of you, and that's wonderful. So just very briefly, in the fall of
1990. You know, amazing people who change your life. Larry Kushner said, you know, they're doing this Thanksgiving thing at the church, and we really should have some people in it. Right. So that was the very first moment of thinking, what am I supposed to do with this? So we did. I remember Ann Kramer was in that first group. Were any of you there from that very beginning? DA Janet? Yes. Yes. And we went and we began, and then we just didn't stop. So I think that's the wonder of it. When people have asked about this process of, you know, what's going to come next and what are the things that Bethel needs to do, and we need to make sure that there's like a Shabbat singer or a, you know, a person who can chant Torah for us and things. And I think that's interesting. But it's not how I define the being of what it means to be in this community with you. And so the gift you've given me today is a remembering that that music is at the core for me and has always been, and yet it is music in its most expansive way. It isn't a repertoire that I sing up there. Can you imagine how silly that would be? And probably, I know many of you have noticed those times where I'll have a song, sometimes May You Live to See Your World Fulfilled, for example, and I would do it 4 or 5 times for a bar or bat mitzvah, and then suddenly other people would start singing, right? And it became, as in all things, a communal experience, right? Aaron Cohen and yes, and Bob Marcus was really into singing it, and it was actually more men interesting, you know, to find their voice in all this. So that was quite wondrous. And a real teaching about what the music did. So I think what I'm, among the hundreds of gifts that I feel entering me at this moment from all of you, is the reminder to remember and to think about those glorious, glorious experiences which we just had continually. And small ones are coming to my mind and large ones are coming to my mind. And underneath it all is the sense that it is music as the life of this community, and not music in this cantor role, but music as the defining element of what opens our hearts and brings us close to one another, and gives us those incredible opportunities to harmonize. It's like, did you hear? Like, we have been harmonizing for 31 years, and I forget that. And that is the core. To me, that is just the core of what it means to be in sync and in connection and in love with one another, which I am with all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, actually, maybe we'll see. I want to say something, and then we're going to play something, and then maybe we'll sing together at the end of playing. So I just want to, I remember, I think the first year you were here, 1990, I came for a bat mitzvah, a bar mitzvah, looking, was this a good place to get married? And I remember crying through the bar mitzvah, just like, it was so meaningful. And I didn't realize that Judaism could have that kind of meaning. So I feel like that has carried me here at Bethel, and there's the incredible gift of you as a friend and a mentor. And oh, can I keep it together here? And I think of you, Laurel, as like this marvelous combination of a vessel for song and a vessel for God and a vessel for service to us. And at the same time as you're doing all those things, you're also like so willing to be human. And that has been in some ways like the biggest learning for me, like that big presence, but then like just you make mistakes and you talk about that. And that's like a huge gift to me, to have both big and then grounded in the world, you know. So I love you very much, and we are going to sing a blessing to you that you might have heard a few times. And we're going to play it, I think, from a few years ago first, and then we might sing it all together. Yes? Somewhere? No? Shehechianu, Vekiyamanu, Vehegianu, Lazman Hazeh, Shehechianu, Vekiyamanu, Vehegianu, Lazman Hazeh, Shehechianu means you made us. Vekiyamanu means you sustained us. Vehegianu Lazman Hazeh, you brought us here right now. You brought us here right now. You made us, you sustained us, and you brought us right here right now. Right here right now. You brought us, you sustained us, and you brought us right here right now. Right here right now. You made us, you sustained us, and you brought us right here right now. Right here right now. Shehechianu Vekiyamanu Vehegianu Lazman Hazeh. Last time Shehechianu Vekiyamanu Vehegianu Lazman Hazeh. Addendum, you ready? We're here as ShirEl. We're blessing Laurel. We're all gonna miss her. We love her so much. Shehechianu Vekiyamanu Vehegianu Lazman Hazeh.
But that's okay. We have one more little surprise for you, Laurel. We did go and try one more song that we created just for you that you haven't heard yet. And here it comes. It is called Circle Round for Laurel.
Circle round for singing, circle round for prayer, for all that you have taught us with your loving care. Circle round for gladness, circle for your soul. With all our separate Circle round for gladness, circle for your soul. With all our separate voices, you have made us whole.
First of all, the flowers you admired, those are just this little bit of happiness that you've given to us for all of these years. Those are for you as a living legacy. We will live on maybe longer than the plant, but at least it will be a living legacy. But thank you, Laurel, from the bottom of our hearts. None of this would have been possible without other people. And so, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Where are all of these? I didn't practice. Screen or whatever it is. I couldn't have done any of this without Carol Sheingold, who has spent many, many hours with me. Come on up here. Hey, Carol. Go ahead, you can. And Carol, I mean, you just came in right away. Of course, a little bird told Carol, but we'll talk about the little bird in a minute. Not told Carol, told me I should ask Carol. But you have been such a joy to work with, but everybody knows Carol's disposition, her beauty is just in who she is. And that's how it's been working with you. And, you know, it was just so easy to work everything out. And one of these two plants is for you. Carol. So thank you very much for your time, the beautiful, beautiful book that is coming, and also some other little things. And then the other person who this wouldn't have been possible without was, well, there are several people, but there is Ms. Janet Buchwald, who has been the director since for 30 years or 40 years that I've been here. The very first time, I think I was in a Purim spiel in I don't know, my first Purim spiel might have been 1982 or 81 or something. It was the first one. No, maybe, yeah. Okay, the first
one I
spiel.
directed was 84.
Okay, well,
I had a 2-year-old.
yes, yes. And so, you know, the thing is that we've known each other so many years, and you've been so creative and so wonderful, and just, you're just like, just right there. You're just this honest person. You say it how it is, but it's always inviting, and also all the creativity. We love all your drashes and all the services you've led, and the dramatic speaking, which we had to put in there. And so between Carol and Janet,
We'll do
those
it
are
out.
for
Jane,
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Jane worked so hard on this. It's been phenomenal.
You're welcome. That was my honor. I'm not done. The other person that you saw from the gorgeous things that were created here is sitting over here, Mr. Craig Ross. Come over, Craig. I mean, really, we would not be having this whole, this is the first hybrid event. And it only happened because you made a suggestion. I loved it. Laurel sends me an email and it says, I don't mean to be, it wasn't pushy. That wasn't the word. You used intrusive. I don't want to be intrusive, but might we be in person? And so I started saying, I wonder, because, it was so close to opening, And so besides that, we'd already been doing this, but we certainly couldn't have done the song. Janet helped me choose the song. Janet helped me shape this whole thing. And then Craig, you were amazing because you spent hours and hours and days coming in here, filming us, talking to us about it, getting this all set up today with your heart and all your expertise.
Well, mostly heart.
And so.
And I just want to say that, we're still learning how to do these things, and it's not easy, but we, with great support from Martin and other people, we're starting to figure out how to do these things, and hopefully we'll just go from strength to strength and get better and better. But it was just a real joy to participate, and you've been amazing too. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Also, believe it or not, a huge shout out to people who stepped up this morning to make this event more seamless. That you don't see them, but they are over here. If we take away, whatever, you will see them in a moment. That is David Waldman and Shirley Huey stepped up to be co-hosts. So they did. And thank you, thank you, thank you. But of course, there's the little guy over there in the corner. Come on over here, little guy. He does have an affinity with turtles. Come on up. You don't have to be a turtle. You can stick your neck out now. Thank you. Martin learned some software to put together all of those ShirEl, the whole montage. And he did that with lots of love and care. Carol and I gave him some guidance, but he used a lot of artistic, what's it called? Yes, license. And I think that it actually came out a lot better with your beautiful artistic license. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So I think now, did I forget it? I don't think so. I think that what we're going to do, we have a little bit of bubbly, and we have something we know, we wanted, this was going to happen more like everybody had their things at home, but we are not allowed to bring communal food. But people might have brought a little something, and we brought something special for you from Rami's, because we know it's your favorite. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and for being here. Thank you to all the Zoom.
I think we should let the Zoom people
Yes.
interact a little bit. now.
And I think it would be great. Yeah, if people want to, if we take us off of speaker view and go on gallery view, everything that everybody said and brought to this made it the event what it was. And it's all so beautiful. Thank every single one of you, and thank every single one of you who are there and here. And some people with their hearts couldn't make it, but they were also here with you.
No, I think most people are gone. Okay. Yeah, I think most people are off. There's Mark Mandel, though. Hi, Mark Mandel.
Hiya, hiya, hiya.
He was, but I think he's.
Who's saying hi? I can't see.
Where are you, Mark?
I am at
Are you
home
in Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia,
Oh.
yes.
Fantastic.
I've
Fantastic.
been down here for 20 years, but my God, what this
Yes,
brings
you
back
have.
to me. And I remember some of those songs. It's great.
Did you sing along?
Yeah, just ask him. You can ask him.
This
There's
is-
David. Hi, David. Hey, David. Did you see yourself?
Hey,
David?
Laurel. It's good to see you.
Oh, yes. Great baritoning. Did you see yourself?
I did. I can't hear me because I always sang softly, usually. But
Wait, you always sing on pitch. You always sing on pitch. Right. Yeah, yeah. We should have
Thank
had, we never had a recording of our, of the viola and Kol Nidre. That would have been,
you know, we just didn't start that live stream early enough.
No, that's right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Laurel, all we can see is your hands and your tummy.
Yeah. Oh. I can't, I don't forget. Okay. All right, so other people can talk then. Right.
Although he loves your hands and your
Wait,
tummy.
who's next to Mark Mandel?
I remember this is the sound of one voice, and I was able to sing along with it after 20 years and more. I remember studying it from the printed form to learn how it went.
Hello. Oh. Oh. And Chris, I still have, as I'm starting to clean out my office, I still have all of your music that
Oh,
you
do
left
you?
for me. I do. I know. Should I send it back to you now?
Please, no, I have like 3 notebooks from Temple Israel of West Palm Beach.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
which are sitting here because there's no choir right now.
Oh, and Jim, it's so
But
good to see
someday.
you. I know that spot. Hi, Anita. Hi, sweetie. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Jim, do you remember the words? I found the music to that song that you taught me, One More Time. Do you remember that? That you did with the, do you remember what the words are? No. One more time, one more time. We'll get together one more time. Right? Remember we did that? I cannot find the words. I can only find the music. But all right, if it comes to you in a dream, let me know. Yeah, but everybody, Marcy's here. Can you see Marcy? Marcy's right there. Hi, Marcy. Hi, Marcy.
Hello, everybody. Beautiful tribute. Thanks for including me.
Oh, just wonderful. Just wonderful. I'm so glad. So good to see you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ah, thank you. Thank you all. Ah.
Well, thank you, Carol and Jane.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. They did a great job. Everything is wonderful. Ah, so hopefully we will find a way to sing together again. Yes, thank you all. It's good to see you. So we'll go have our bubbly and we salute you all. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for keeping the music going. Farewell.
Bye. You to you and you and you and you and you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Martin.
Thanks, Martin.
Phenomenal production. Unbelievable.